Morning. Floppy, how you doing?
Hi. Hey, I'm good. I'm good. How are you?
Good. A little bit of a crazy morning in the markets and everything.
Yeah. I woke up a couple times from sleep and rolled over, checked the phone. Shouldn't have, but
A good day to wake up and just play some games.
yeah. There you go.
Hey, so that being said, we got a really cool group in today. Planet Mojo, a project that we announced partnership with. A crazy morning in the markets and everything. About 2 weeks.
Yeah. I woke up a couple times from sleep and
Oops, we had a little sound problem there, but yeah. So we got Planet Mojo coming and joining us today. We announced a partnership with them about 2 weeks ago, and very excited. We have three of their team members, including the founder Mike, joining us today. Can we let them into the room? Nice. Hey Mojos.
Hey there.
Hello.
How you
Nice to
doing?
see you.
hey.
Excellent, thank you.
Awesome.
Very cool. Well, we're really excited about having a new partnership with you guys, and just figured, give you an opportunity to kick it off. We have some of our gamers listening today. Can you just give us a quick intro into your project?
Sure. I can try that. Planet Mojo is a Web3 blockchain gaming universe, metaverse that we're creating with a very original story and narrative. And our vision is to create a suite of interconnected games that people can move their NFT characters, teams, and other assets in between, with a focus on PvP and other types of games. And we're debuting with an auto chess game and land-based game this summer.
And the story is like really cool and unique. I was reading about the scourge snakes, the Mojo seeds, the eggs, how everything develops. Can you give us some of that backstory behind Planet Mojo?
Sure. And Eric, feel free to help me. And we're trying to tell the story in a very Web3 way, in pieces over time. There's a character on Twitter, Brooka, that if people are interested, he's slowly sort of telling the story, and we have this epic cinematic coming out soon that's going to progress it forward. But basically, Planet Mojo is this mysterious planet that you'll learn more about over time. But after a dramatic incident where it's struck by a mysterious object, there's a lot of mystery. The planet kind of reacts in a magical way, releasing this energy and sort of gives birth and sentient life to different types of creatures, from these giant mega creatures we call the ancients, but also, of course, the Mojos, which are kind of the heart of the story. They're these plant-based creatures. They're going to come in many different forms, and they're kind of here to help ultimately save this planet from this threat that we'll be learning more about. And the clans, who are all the champions you'll be battling with, all the different races of the planet, which are based on animals, or kind of they evolve differently on this planet, but they have sort of been given this message from the ancients to protect the Mojos. And you will battle with the Mojos in auto chess. They're not just sort of side figures. They have spells and abilities based on their classes and subclasses, and a lot more. Now I'm going into gameplay, so I'll stop.
Yeah, very cool. We'll get into that. Yeah.
The Mojos are the good guys.
Yes, they're definitely good, but as you see, they're very unique and have different expressions. We'll show some off here in a second. They, some of them kind of have nice little friendly evil grins, and they have attitudes. Some
Well,
of them,
some of
so
them are
they
mischievous,
range in different emotions, but they are definitely the good guys.
Yeah, I like the mischievous aspect. Hey, so before we go any further, could you guys maybe introduce yourself and maybe mention your role, and maybe one thing that you're super excited about in the with Planet Mojo?
You guys go.
All right, I'll go first. Hi, my name is Kendria, and I head up community. Not a traditional gamer, but love all the aspects of community, building communities. I'm what I describe as a blockchain native. I've been in the space since 2017. So my mission here is to help everyone where is needed. So I'm a utility player, but most of all, making sure that the community connects with such a great project. So thank you for having us today.
Hi, Eric Campanella. I'm the art director on Planet Mojo. Been in the industry for 25 years. Got my start working on fantasy RPGs like Planescape Torment and Icewind Dale series at a company called Interplay. Also worked on Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance. I eventually went to Electronic Arts, where I worked on Command and Conquer Generals, and then on to Activision, where I did worked on the Call of Duty series for a while. I've also worked on several mobile titles more recently, including a Hero Collection game and other similar titles that have some relationship to the auto chess world. And I've been working with Mike on and off for the last 8 years or so. Something I've always admired about what he does is he's always on the cutting edge of technology. He was working on augmented reality when it was in its earlier phases, and last year we did a virtual reality title called Salmon Max. This time it's virtual using the Salmon Max IP, which was really cool. It was really fun to work on that. And of course, he started exploring the blockchain, and I was excited about that because I've been interested in it for a long time. So, so I've done a deep dive myself and have a much better understanding about it, and really excited about that. As far as excitement about the game, I mean, I love creating worlds, and I love creating fantasy and building characters with lots of personality in a world with a lot of beauty and color and magic. And so, yeah, what's not to be excited about?
Eric is just generally excited.
Yeah, I can tell. Enthusiasm is big.
Okay, and I'm Mike. I've also been in games a long time, since the early 90s, where I was lucky to accept a job out of the newspaper to go work at Lucasfilm Games, and turned into LucasArts shortly after that. And that was a fun ride, learned a lot. And kind of after that, started my own. Well, I did a startup with people from ILM with special effects and tools, but I missed games, came back to the East Coast of the US where I'm from, and started my own companies, which over the years we've worked with big companies and brands like Hasbro and Pepsi and Spin Master and others. And we've also done our own games, and which is the most fun, as Eric was talking about some of them. We also did this game a few years ago in 2017 called Hollow Grid Monster Battle, and we did it with Phil Tippett, who created the holo chess scene in Star Wars. And so we kind of had to figure out how to turn it into a game. And that was an AR VR game. Really, we didn't turn it into a sort of normal flat game because we were so focused on that. But it was cool a couple of years later when auto chess genre emerged, and we were all like, hey, we know that. So we have a lot of team members who play those games, and we all do, and we're a big fan of them.
It's super cool
Nice.
to hear about that background. Like some people are coming into this space from like an NFT perspective, right? And just sort of maybe seeing an opportunity. But you guys can tell from everything we've seen so far that you're really building, and obviously your experience is really a sign of that. And so
yeah, let me ask Mike one question. So you mentioned that you worked at LucasArts. Did you happen to work on like the Indiana Jones franchise at all? Because I remember playing that growing up. Yeah. Nice.
Fate of Atlantis, probably the most notable. Yeah. I think I tested that quite a bit. And yeah, cool. I know Hal, who created it or did pretty well. He's amazing. Learned a lot from him. Hal Barwood, he came from movies and film and working with George and Dragon Slayer. So he was like the mentor really at LucasArts to all the young people who were in their early 20s. And that was his baby. And yeah, I think Fate of Atlantis is still looked at an adventure game, or is this one of the best adventure games. We used to joke around the office a lot about his sidekick in that, Sophia, because he would always throughout the game he would always have this Sophia, and it was line repeated. But yeah, that was a great game.
Floppy and I are both based in, born and raised actually in San Francisco.
Oh yeah.
Nice.
So Lucas and all that's in our backyard.
Mm-hmm.
You could have come in for the pizza orgies. That's what they used to call them when we brought
Oh, yeah.
people in to test the games. Basically, fill them up with pizza and soda, and see what see how far they got.
Right. Okay. Wow.
That's really cool. And so, Mike, you touched a little bit at the start, but like, it's Planet Mojo is not just a game. Like, you guys are actually building like a whole metaverse, right? Can you like go into a little bit more about that? You talked about, the first release. But yeah, just sort of give us a little bit more detail about everything.
Sure. And one thing I think, or we're trying to do, is it's been sort of my mantra since we started this to the team, is one thing I think makes us a little different too, is that even though we do come from traditional gaming and we're bringing all that to this space, we didn't want to be one of these teams who are just like, we're going to make a game and put NFTs in it and, it'll be fine. No, like everything we're doing, we've studied this space intently. I studied it. It's all I did for over 6 months, just every day consuming, and it's still evolving. You have to keep up with it, but we've tried to be as blockchain native as we can. And so everything we've actually done and chosen, and even the story we're telling, there was a lot of thought put into it. We thought a lot about the genre we want to make, and we just looked around at the space and saw a lot of games with colored monkeys or virtual worlds filled with brands, and we wanted to make something that, for lack of a better word, was more pure, a fantasy world people could escape to, but also have it tied to the real world. And that's where our like environmental message and stuff like that comes in. If we're going to be spending the bulk of our time in metaverses, we wanted to sort of remind people. And yeah, so as we tell this story over time and like through all these different mediums, that's what we like about this space, like telling it through Twitter and blog posts and cinematics and text and stuff. We wanted to make something that would evolve over time, and that people would be wondering, what's coming next, basically. But I think the most important thing was just, and having done this before, like I said, with Insecticide and obviously the games, watching at LucasArts and being involved, just like once you have that sort of foundation for a world and the characters, like it starts talking to you, like it starts telling you what, what would Brooke, the bear character, do here, like. And so that's why we put a lot of time in the beginning to fleshing out this story and the characters and the world. And it's a big world, like with Insecticide we made a city. Here we're trying to make a world, so it's a lot bigger. And we're starting out small, but it's going to grow over time. And I think, hopefully people will be intrigued as the story kind of evolves and people see where sort of some of the meaning behind it. And
what I love about that, Mike, and Kendrea can probably touch on this too, is that like, as it's evolving, like that's also your community evolving, right?
Yeah.
Like, so it's not like you're putting a product out there, it's finished. Like, you're building that community and then, growing together and evolving together.
Absolutely. I mean, it's like an amazing period in time, right? I mean, historically, dealing with games, right? You go and buy it at Best Buy or whatever, GameStop, and you're not really interacting with the designers and having a say. Being in blockchain is so amazing, right? So as you're building these communities and that synergy between them, they're actually offering opinions and insight and some wisdom that they see it from a totally different like viewpoint. So the synergies are lying, and it just makes it more dynamic as the game itself is evolving and as the concept is growing. So yeah, I mean, that's the beauty of blockchain, right? I mean, everyone eventually finds their tribe and then they start to become builders with you.
And that's what also attracted me, one of the many things, to this space at the beginning, and why we feel it's like a paradigm shift in gaming, is because community had already, over the last decade in gaming, has gotten huge. It's a big thing, and early access. This is the evolution of that to me. Now it's just not like talking, you're involved. And, you know, we've said many times, obviously we're going to have our token, there's going to be voting eventually, but the community, if you get on our Discord, we want you to be involved. And, you know, like when we make our next games, we'll most likely put that to a vote. What type of game should we make next? You know, we have ideas, but we want to hear from the community, and that'll ripple through to many things, because that's, again, one of the things that's so special about this space.
Yeah, it's really like the golden age of gaming right now. You know, like as you're saying, Mike, those communities were built, you know, a lot before Web3, but now with the technology and everything, it's really this intersection of everything. And so the first game is going to be Mojo Melee, correct?
Yes, that's what we're calling the auto chess.
Are we
game.
able to see any images from this?
Not quite yet, but we're very close. We definitely have images. In fact, if you let me share my, there we go. We have plenty of images to show, and definitely of some new ones actually of the champions, and you know, we're the stuff every week. We have amazing new stuff to show. But yeah, I can, Eric, if you want to say anything about the art while I'm showing some of this.
Sharing? Okay.
Can you see?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So that, you know, there's 10,000 Mojos initially. We're in the midst of our sale right now, with Polka Starter and doing our own. We'll be listing, there's articles in our blog to get more information about it, and on Twitter. But every Mojo is unique. These are all of the plant class, and they have 4 different subclasses, which you can tell by their symbols.
So cool.
Yeah, I mean, the team, Eric, please jump in, but like, just built an amazing system to create these inside Unity, because you know, there's not a lot of full 3D NFT sort of generative systems that have been built yet. So we kind of, our team and Eric and the others, our art tech Chris, just did an amazing job. We're probably going to put out a video just showing it off, because pretty amazing.
Yeah, really amazing.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Yeah.
Eric, dive in. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I had a question, I guess, for Eric. Is all the art style across the entire metaverse and potentially all the games coming out in the future going to be similar, or are you going to maybe diverge a little bit?
There's some, depending on the platform and stuff, there can be some variation and divergence from the art style. You know, this is sort of the core established look that we want, you know, this rich, whimsical world. And those are tenets we're going to keep with. You know, we want to have a lot of personality in the world and the characters. You can see here, even these are the Mojo home. They went away. The Mojo homes, and even the plants themselves. You know, we want everything to have a lot of life and you know, feel alive and feel interesting.
Eric, the artwork's absolutely amazing. Like,
thank you. On behalf of the team, we have an amazing team. A lot of veterans, a lot of really, really talented people. And you know, they've worked really hard to bring a lot of life to these characters.
Can you talk?
This is the Moj seed that everyone will get initially, and then later you will sprout the seed to, you know, we're trying to keep it very fair also, so you'll get random Mojo, and in terms of the rarity, certain rarities also have animations. They'll all have unique poses on top of looking unique. This
how cool is that?
Video
that's
of the
really
seed.
cool. Yeah,
I love that light beam. So Eric, can you talk a little bit about like the inspiration? Like,
absolutely,
you know, you're the art director. Obviously there's a very organic, Mike touched on, we'll talk a little bit later about what you guys are doing like in real life for the environment, but yeah, just, you know, share a little bit more about the inspiration behind this incredible artwork.
Oh, absolutely. We're big fans of, we love games and we love movies. You know, great old ones like Dark Crystal and, you know, Secret of NIMH and Avatar, you know, newer, more modern things like that. And, you know, we're also big fans of games. I have a fantasy game background stuff, and, you know, all of those influences and interests, you know, factor into what we're creating here. But we also wanted to create something that was a little more unique in the space. And since we have a love of, you know, the environment and taking care of the world we live in, We've gone with this sort of natural approach of these plant-based creatures, these anthropomorphic champion characters, characters that represent this more natural state of the world. And we wanted to focus on the idea of making a world that isn't based on humans so much, something that's a little bit more otherworldly, that gives us more flexibility to kind of explore shape and silhouette and design, especially with the Mojos. The idea, the NFT concept of the random generation of characters really lends itself so well to these plant-based creatures. You can see here we've got
I love the facial expressions. It's
so
fun. There, because it's those details. I mean, look at that.
They definitely look mischievous for sure.
Yeah, I want to shout out our team. Chris Rogers is the tech artist who developed the system for randomizing the Mojos, which we can randomize and render, as you can see right in our engine. And we'll be carrying that over to our games as well, so you'll be able to play with your unique Mojo in the games that we create. Also, Jim Rice, he's an awesome art lead.
3D character modeler, came from EA, and we also worked with him at LucasArts, but he's a very talented individual.
And then Richard Cheek is our lead animator, and he's the guy that gave all the expressions you're talking about. So
yeah,
they're great.
I love the depth in the expressions, right? Because it's not, some of them are almost like flirting with you, some are teasing you. Like that guy looks a little angry.
And one thing to note about these Mojos is over time, and once the game comes out, we plan to introduce skins eventually, and probably sooner than that, animations and poses. So you'll win those in the games, and if you don't like your Mojo looking angry, you'll have the ability to change that, and it'll ripple through to your NFT.
Cool,
hey,
cool.
I should have done this at the start, but just a reminder to everyone who's listening right now, if you guys do have some questions, feel free to drop them in the comment section. Floppy and I have a lot of things we want to ask, but we'll definitely be looking at that and checking in and asking the guys. So sorry to interrupt, but the audience have an opportunity to answer some questions there. We're getting some Avatar vibes in the comment section right now. Wow, look at that.
Yeah.
So can you? Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
I'm just going to expand on what we're looking at with the champions here. So these are some of the early concepts we did for the champions, kind of getting the look and feel and getting a sense of them. We work our whole project, because we're all industry vets. We all work in a very iterative process. We create big ideas first, and then we focus in, and get into more and more detail as we go. We do that with how we develop the game, how we develop systems for the game, and concepts and character designs as well. You can see these are the finished concepts for the 3 different levels of the different champions that you'll have when you're playing.
In auto chess, you level up as you play. So this is what this is showing.
Yeah, you merge 3 together and you get the next. Yeah.
Right. Exactly. Merge 2, get the next level, that kind of thing. One thing we had thought about early on with what we wanted to do is with the auto chess concept was we wanted to give the player ownership of the character, since the NFTs just lend themselves automatically to that concept. And we thought it'd be really interesting to allow you to build a deck of the champions that are going to be more strategically effective for you. So players can arrange, mix and match the champions they want to bring to a tournament, and they can field them on the battlefield and figure out which ones work best together. And over time, build a larger and larger deck of these different characters. You can see here we've proceeded past concept. We've got many of them in 3D development already. These ones are rigged and posed, and
these are hot off the presses, though, and we haven't
exactly
done this stuff before. So these are some of the 3D champions.
Floppy, you always love the unreleased alpha. Here we go.
This is great.
You're getting some alpha right now.
What I love about it is, so there's so many projects where they're going into space, or they're a robot, or I love how organic, this is, it's almost like there's something everyone can relate to a bit in the characters.
That's what we were going for. Yeah, we want to connect to people who might find different things and the different personalities, little powerful glass cannon guys, or big huge dudes like Brooke of the Bear here. We want to appeal to a lot of a wide audience of people that be interested in different aspects of these characters.
This is actually from the bear from our upcoming cinematic. And he's going to be fully groomed with hair.
Mm-hmm.
The cinematic is we're working with our friends who used to work at Pixar and ILM, and we're pretty excited. This is going to be pretty next level for this space, which has already seen some pretty high-end trailers, but we think this is going to take it to the next level.
We're always trying to take it to the next level.
Why not?
Why not? So with the Battlestone NFTs and Champion NFTs, they're going to start as seeds as well, and then you can hatch them and they evolve and
just the Mojos. Just the Mojos start as seeds. Yeah, just to be clear, because they're plant-based creatures. The other other creatures were presumably born in whatever form. But yeah, I guess this might be as good a time as any since I'm on this slide. But yeah, in our NFT sale, which is ongoing now, we're giving incredible value because we didn't want to jerk around players. We want players to play the game. And so for anyone who mints a Mojo and holds it, if they sprout their seed and hold the Mojo, we're going to be giving you 4 out of the 6 original champions for free. So you're essentially getting 5 NFTs for the single price. You'll also be listed automatically for our land sale, which we call Biomes, which will happen in a couple months, which is going to be fully 3D randomly generated lands, just like the Mojos. Everyone will be unique, have different properties. We'll also arrange allow-list spots with our partners for our token sale. And, it's another thing that's different about us. We've seen a few other projects do this now, but, we just decided we wanted to lead with our content first and our NFTs, and then launch our token with our games this summer to give it true utility and really build up to that and have it be more focused around the game and seeing the actual value, it gives to it. And then, another perk will be, of course, early access to the games this summer. One of the way we're going to award early adopters, and that will also give you access to our first tournament, which will have cash prizes, rewards pool, etc. And our sort of long-term or short-term plan is after the early access this summer, then later in the fall, open the game up much more. We'll hopefully have 15 to 20 champions by then, and really allow wider access to people to get into the game where they won't have to own everything and have a chance to play the game and focus on the fun, because we think that's very important in this space. And we've all seen it shifting kind of towards that now, and we think it's healthy overall for the space.
Hey Mike, this is really cool. So 5 NFTs for the price of 1.
Yes,
Floppy,
exactly.
I know what you're thinking now. If you get 10, you get 50.
It's one per wallet, but you're allowed to use more than one wallet. And
but how cool, you guys, I love how it evolves from the egg. So because the egg also though is 3D
it's a seed. It's a seed, just to be clear. We call it eggs too.
Yeah.
Here, let me just go back to. I just want to. I'll show this now. This is actually a little sneak peek from the cinematic of a Mojo being born, and you can actually see the seed in the background there. This just gives you a little.
Welcome to the world, little guy.
Yeah, welcome, buddy. I like it.
Wait till you see what happens next, but I can't tell you yet.
I think he gets eaten by something.
Here's a little. This is another shot from the cinematic of our little alien squirrel, and you can see some strange things happening in the background, but I'll leave it at that.
Okay, so on this, Mike, to pick your brain, you talked a little bit about the Bioluminescence, right? Is with the land, is this what the land with the Bioluminescence NFTs are going to look like?
Yeah, great question. So we're going to have different types of biomes over time. The initial, I think we have 6 or 7 types. So the initial type we'll be releasing is the forest biome.
Okay.
And that's actually much more rainforesty, lush. This is actually a scene from more of a rocky terrain, but some other here. Let me.
It's from the initial.
Yeah, if I go at it here, I can see where we are better than this mode. I can show you some other. So we didn't really narrate it before.
I love the Eric, real testament to you. Like I love all the diversity, right? Because again, it's a reflection of like there's diversity in the real world, right? And so I just love all the diversity in the artwork and the landscape and wow. So
this is concept art of the land, okay? But it'll have a night and a day cycle. It'll all be fully 3D, like I said, and it'll basically be, it's sort of, I say it's Animal Crossing Light. It's 1.0. It's something we're definitely going to keep adding to. At the initial launch, it'll be resource collection, also stamping out the scourge from your land, this threat, and then crafting. And ultimately, you'll have quests, daily quests, long-term quests, but ultimately you'll be able to craft these battle stones. That'll kind of be the initial ultimate goal. Over time, we'll release crafting spells in here
and harvesting, right? Also,
yeah, and well, that's what you'll be doing. Basically, when I say resource collection, gamey geek way of saying harvesting, like because one of the things you harvest essentially is the aura, this magic that sort of the land is, and that leads into you being able to craft the battle stones through a few different phases ultimately of getting to that. And you go inside these cool, you'll be able to get different types of Mojo homes you'll be able to go into and upgrade those as well. And there'll be different rarity types that'll also determine, how quickly you can earn from the land. And eventually we will introduce different types of passive earning in the land, but really the battle stones are also passive earning because, well, they're not passive, you have to craft them, but the battle stones are NFTs. So the NFTs can be bought and sold or sponsored, and the battle stones will do many things. They'll help you get into special tournaments. They'll also increase your earnings. They'll also be part of burn mechanisms. We're developing kind of a battle pass system that you can rank up through, where by paying in, you can increase your rewards as well.
Mike, you mentioned it quickly, like we're seeing it here. Floppy, like I'm not familiar with, like, is there any lands that are doing like the day and night variation like you guys are doing?
I haven't seen
so
anything.
Cool.
Yeah, I mean, we've if you look at the games I've been involved with over the years, you can see I've always been very inspired by Animal Crossing. We made a virtual world that we still get emails about. People may remember in the Club Penguin era, it was called Planet Chasmo. It was Flash-based. We did virtual concerts. We had all kinds of crazy characters. But that also had a day and night cycle. So it was always something. And with other projects, so we've done this before, and it just adds that kind of, it makes it feel alive, and think.
Yeah, the immersion aspect is cool. Yeah,
and with the bioluminescence, things are really going to change at night, and over time we'll introduce things maybe that you have to come visit at night to harvest.
Eric mentioned at the beginning that Mike, you're always a little bit ahead, right? Like right on. I mean, that's a testament to you guys were doing these concerts and doing this stuff, but you creating a lot of these ideas and just seeing this land here. I mean, Eric, it looks absolutely amazing.
Thank you. Yeah, we have a very talented concept team that worked on these. And Mike touched on the bioluminescence. That was one of the key factors for giving the world a sense of this magical inner life. The world itself has a soul, and what's happened is there's been a catastrophe that's caused it to awaken, and that's why it's created the Mojos. The Mojos are the guardians of the planet, and so we want to communicate that visually by saying that everything on this planet has an extra bit of life to it. This bioluminescence that you see at night and in the shadows and stuff like that. You can see behind me in the image there's swirling magic around water features and things. There's a lot of things we wanted to do to kind of bring the world an extra level of magic and mystery all the time. So we thought a nighttime would be really a great way to communicate that.
Yeah, it's fresh. Hey, on the one, I think it's the image back. It's showing like the little homes
Yeah.
that you have there. So is that something that like users will find on their land, or is that something that they're going to be building?
We're still fine tuning some of this stuff, but I think you're going to start with a home initially. I'll say right now, and have the opportunity to upgrade it, and eventually we want to have really cool, crazy homes that people can upgrade to, and potentially, yeah, it will involve crafting and collecting different resources to build them, because the Mojos are very sort of organic, nature based. They're not gonna very sort of Native American. They're really, building out of the land and keeping things very, sort of natural, for lack of a better word.
Floppy, I can't decide if I like the night or the day better.
I think they complement each other so well. I think it's just neat. Yeah, it just gives you like another feel. Yeah.
And we I haven't seen other projects do this, but like we're taking the time to make this, as I said, into full 3D. We're not going to be other side, not that it hurt them, but I just think it's a little weird to put out 2D concept art for a 3D metaverse.
Yeah.
So this is going to be fully 3D when you get it, completely unique, and we're even going to tell you like, hey, only 5% of the lands have this plant, for example. So be very much like the Mojos and PFPs in a way. People will be able to see the rarities. Whoops, sorry.
No, this is next level, what you guys are doing.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Okay, so you think, yeah, we've seen all the artwork yet?
Yeah, we can kill that.
No, cool.
No, keep it going.
All fantastic. Yeah, well, I guess we
Better
keep
than
it going
looking
in the
at our
background while we
faces,
talk.
so
No, yeah, we could keep it going in the background as we talk. But I wanted to sort of move on to the economy. So players will be able to earn the MOJ token for playing. Are you guys going to have a 2 token, 1 token, 3 token? There's all this talk about the best way to form an economy. Well, yeah, how's it going to work for
sure.
Planet Mojo?
I'll just say we've put a massive amount of care and detail into the economy. We've worked very closely with our partners. We have some great partners, from Republic, Animoca, and others. And, I can say with confidence, nobody knows. Nobody knows the answer to that question in this space. And that's why everything we're doing is taking a slow, cautious approach. The tortoise always wins the race. We don't want to be a project that burns brightly for 6 months and goes away. So we're starting with a single token economy. That's one reason we're doing that. It's a rewards token. It's a eventually governance and voting token. We'll have staking as well. There is some burning mechanisms for it. We have a soft in-game currency, just like a normal game, that will be used for things like upgrading your characters and other features in the game. We may eventually turn that into another token, so we have a dual token, but we want to make sure the economy is balanced at first. We're also going to be working with this company people may have heard of called Machinations. They're working with some other games in the space. They have a tool that will enable us, we're already using it, to run thousands of simulations on the economy before it launches and when the game's live, so we can feed in actually real-time data to see what players are doing, and that theoretically is going to help us avoid problems. And and we're familiar with this, right, from free-to-play games. This is very normal that economies are always, you're balancing them to make sure things don't get out of whack. And like when we look at Axie, we're huge fans of Axie, even though obviously they've had issues, but there's no one that has more data than them. And you look at how much they're changing things in the economy, trying to fix things. Not everything works because it is an imperfect science, but because these games are real economies, that's like, again, one of the paradigm shifts here. Essentially, we're the government, right? And we have to do things to make sure the economy is balanced. And over time, let everyone's opinion weigh in. But that has to be done, very carefully you know, on an economist level to keep
Mhm.
things
Yeah.
as balanced as possible.
Mike, you were talking earlier about like how much focus that you guys are putting into the art, right? And it's not like you're just dropping a trailer and then building, right? Like you guys are building and then like putting that stuff out later. And it seems like that's the same approach you guys are really taking to the tokenomics, and that's really refreshing.
Yeah, I mean, again, we're trying to build something, you know, that's going to be here for decades. That's our goal. We want this to be Star Wars or Avatar for blockchain, and as IP that we can build many games of over time. So it doesn't serve anyone's interest. And you know, it's just like even investing. If you take the game out of it, you want to be in it for the long haul, right? And so that's the way we're looking at this. And so we've just, as we've been building since day one, you know, the game, but we watched a lot of other games in this space. We've watched them burn out and have massive problems with the economy. And
Mhm.
we think, and we had this on our website since day one, of play and earn, you know, over play to earn. And we're seeing Axie and everyone else move to that, sort of putting the fun first in these games.
Yeah.
It's like this sort of leap of faith you have to make. But if the games are truly fun, the earnings are going to be exponentially bigger in the long run. And that's
Mhm.
kind of how
Poppy,
we look at
he's
it.
speaking our language.
Yeah.
I
This
mean,
is something we talk
yeah.
about a lot, you know.
I like to give the example of Magic the Gathering, which is extreme, which someone educated me on, that, you know, was around for a decade before there were any paid tournaments. Now there are
Hmm.
multi-million-dollar tournaments all the time, all over the world for Magic, and
Mhm.
it just happened naturally. It's not going to take us 10 years because we're going to have tournaments from the beginning, but we want, if you have that focus, then your
Mhm.
tournaments are going to be even bigger. They're going to be more fun. They're going to have more competition. And tournaments are, you know, if we didn't say this enough, is a big part of what we're doing. And we want to have fun with it. You know, we're already in talks and partnerships with people like Community Gaming and other things that will enable us to have tournaments like with guilds, and have
Yeah.
guilds have tournaments against other guilds, and you know, just have fun with it more.
But and that's sort of the
Mhm.
key thing, right, Mike? It's got to be fun. So, like, you know, you can throw out these ideas, but like with Magix is a perfect example. You know, they didn't put money into marketing or advertising this. They literally created, Kendra, I'm sure knows this, these community events, right? Where like on Friday nights, people would go to their places and play
Yep, their
together with
game
Magic.
stores.
Yeah,
Yep, and
exactly.
they
And
still
like,
do.
yeah, and like, you know, everything with the artwork and what you're saying, you know, about Mojos, it just like it resonates that, like, you know, from the bottom up. It's really cool.
And
Thank
again,
you.
it's what you're saying. It's just that dynamic of building a place to come, and it's a community, right? So at the core, if it's fun, you're going to want to come. You know what I mean? You want to go. This is where you can build lasting relationships. This is long term that we're building, and quite frankly, the token and the value add on the earning portion is just that, you know, it's the whipped cream on top of it. This is
Mhm.
what I think is lacking in the blockchain space for gaming, is that we listen. I mean, we all know that it was like just earth shattering, that whole play to earn concept, and it really came in a time in our history where it was really needed. I mean, countries were actually able to build some economies off of it, but as with anything, you have to realize when the balance of transfer, you know, when it's all changing, you have to evolve. And at the core of this is, let's get back to fun. Let's get back to creating a space where people can just go and veg out and play, and
Mhm.
everything else is on top of it.
Well, you guys are also like, you know, Mike mentioned a little bit of this up at the beginning, but you guys are also doing some things that really set yourselves apart from other projects. And I'm not just talking about Eric about the amazing art. Sorry, you know, Kendra, I'm not talking about the community, but like the in real life stuff, right? Like that focus on environment. Like, can you talk a little bit? Like, I'm not sure if everyone listening like really knows how you guys are setting your project apart in terms of working with the environment and environmental groups.
Yeah, let me try to switch to our other deck. One sec. As you can tell, I like visuals.
Yeah, hey, everybody does.
Well, you got the right guy in Eric.
Okay, here we go. Yes. So yeah, no, one of the things we're doing differently, that's why I wanted to bring up this slide, is so we announced this on Earth Day, Earth Week, and we formed a partnership with this great organization we found called One Tree Planted, and we're also in talks with many other ones. There's so many great environmentally and other conscious groups, and we just didn't see enough of this in this space. And with our theme, so what we're doing specifically is this group plants trees all over the world for $1. And so for every Mojo we sell, we're donating $1 and planting a tree. And people will be able to choose what continent, what region they want it to be planted on. It'll be planted in a deforested region. And just heard news the other day about the rainforest shrinkage is worse than it's predicted. And so this is needed, more than ever. And really for us, we're not saying here this first group of Mojos is going to like save all the problems in the climate, but it's more about sending a message. And like just if everyone in this space was doing this with some of the crazy numbers we see projects make, just give it a little bit back, we actually could make a pretty big impact. So we just wanted to set the tone. We hope other projects will follow us, and people have reached out to us, which is great, who think the same way, and we're already talking about new partnerships and ways we can extend this in the future. So this isn't a one-off shot. This is something that we're going to continue to do.
I mean, the metaverse is awesome, right? But we have to live on planet Earth, so we need to take care of it. And this is, yes, like I said, this is an amazing way for us to give back and lead the way, being a thought leader.
No, yeah, it's very cool. We actually had Nyan Heroes on our AMA last week, and they have a mission to save a billion cats or something like that. Yeah, like
nice,
insane number. So they're out there in the cat sort of side of things. But it's so cool to see now back-to-back projects that are coming out with a mission like that. It's just really cool.
I think it's important to society too that like people have something that they can like attach to and like that resonates in that way. Like Kendra, like people come together. Like what's amazing about like this space, right, is it's such a community builder between cultures and different backgrounds. But then when you can have that like common like in real life, like that's something, that's that next level of bringing people together.
Absolutely. And another thing that I really love about our community is how inclusive we are. I mean, we have many nations at this point, but we all have one single rally cry as far as like when we're looking at the earth, right? We all need to be here. And then it's so cool in the blockchain space. As I said earlier, people kind of congregate into their own tribes, into their own community, and the spaces is so large that we can all sync up on, in this case, our first game will be the auto chess. So there's that brings its own niche of people in there. And then again, we're all rallying under an environmental cause. So yeah, it's pretty brilliant. That makes us one person, even though we're very different in our, our tribes and our tongues, for the lack of a better word, but there's a rally post. So that's really powerful.
I was seeing one image there of like a tree. I think it was a couple back. Eric, I'm almost catching like a little bit of like Lord of the Rings. Like
oh yeah, we're definitely inspired by that. I mean, Tolkien created
like that guy there.
Right, the Ents.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the Ents.
Yeah, we take a lot of inspirations from a lot of different sources like that, because these are the masters of creating worlds.
And then what's in the middle there? What's the little green guy?
That's a birth of a Mojo right there. You're witnessing an event. Yeah, that's a little baby come.
And is that Daddy?
That's like a giant mushroom fungus ancient overlooking him. You could see his giant arms in the background and things. This was like a very an early inspirational thing we did to help us understand what the world looks like and feels like.
Right. And eventually you might be able to encounter other ancients. They might emerge from under great boulders, or come out of massive caverns and things like that.
Yeah, if you follow Brooka of Mojo on Twitter, he's been having some encounters lately.
Oh, to check that out. So moving on, like so can you tell us about like the roadmap a little bit, like some significant dates that might be coming up for everybody to get excited about?
Here we go. There's the roadmap.
Yeah, there's the roadmap.
Okay.
For us, we've been, we're working on multiple cylinders here, multiple plates spinning. We've been developing the game, as I said, for months, and hope to be showing it off pretty soon. But we have it fully up and running, and sort of cutting to the jumping ahead to this summer. That's the big thing we're really focused on is getting those games out. Initially, they're going to be WebGL in the browser, and then we'll bring it to mobile as well. A few months later, we're building it in Unity, which we have a lot of experience in. So in between the game and now, really, we're releasing these Mojos. We'll be airdropping champions. We'll be releasing the land in a few months as well. We'll be releasing this cinematic trailer as well. Plus, we have some other fun airdrops planned that we've been working on that I think people will like. And yeah, really just trying to keep the momentum going, keep people engaged, and building up to the summer with the games and the IDO and the token launch as well. So there'll be a lot of work in that as well. And we're in talks with all the various exchanges about that as well.
I'm guessing you guys got this dial just from your vast experience in the industry, but you talked a little bit there about PC first, then mobile later. Will people need what type of PC? Anything special that's going to be needed because of the incredible graphics?
We're first of all, we have a lot of experience in optimization.
Yeah.
We're just coming off of this VR game, which we had to support, the Quest 1 on. So, and having done mobile. So even though things look, amazing, we're very committed to, having this be a global game and you not needing, some honking graphics card or gaming PC to play. It's going to be it's not PC downloadable at first. It's right in the browser.
Okay,
And we
cool.
wanted to do that because it's very accessible. It's friendly for crypto with wallets. And we're really, again, trying to build this crypto natively. All people's assets they'll have full ownership of. They'll live in their wallets. We'll only sort of pull them into the game for instances. So that was very important to us.
Floppy, this is good news. So we can go over to your mom's house and play. And we don't need to download and change your whole computer around.
And with mobile as well, you won't. You'll need a certain. Obviously, we'll have a minimum spec. I can't tell you what it's going to be right now, but again, we're very used to, especially in our history.
Yeah, that's something I know you guys are going to have dialed.
Yeah, we hope so. I mean, there's obviously limits and there may be different quality settings and whatnot. And, we'll listen to the community as always, too. So if they want a downloadable version, that's something we'll consider as well.
Now, it's good to hear that your quest for optimization. That's like huge. Yeah, because there's nothing worse than playing a game that you're like, wait, my computer should totally handle this. And then it's just like choppy.
Yeah, or you feel like, I can't play, like I don't have this computer, right? Or what Mike just said, Floppy too, which is cool, is like that mobile is going to be available like pretty soon after, the PC version.
Yeah, and even though auto chess, like it's sort of more strategical, slower paced, it's sort of deceiving because there's a lot going on. It's almost as much going on as a MOBA in some ways because you have so many characters on the screen at the same time. Like when the battle actually happens, you just have craziness going on and just so many visual effects and characters. And so, it's, we want to make sure we hit that right balance and it's playable and it looks awesome.
Well, everything we've seen today looks absolutely incredible. So really hats off to you and the team. I got kind of a hard question. Obviously the markets have been like really down. We're talking not just the months, but just even in the last 24 hours. I think I kind of know the answer to this because like you guys are just heads down, it seems like, and building something incredible here. But like, how does that affect at all? Like your roadmap, like, does that affect like the development? Can you touch a little bit on that, Mike?
No. And yes. And it's a great question. we keep it real here at Planet Mojo, so we're not afraid to talk about this stuff. I mean, the big answer really, it doesn't affect us at all, really, in the long term, because we're builders. We had great partners. We were lucky enough to raise funding. And so, that really heads down and just building. In the short term, I'll just say here now, 'cause we're just about to announce this, but given how utterly crazy the market is today and our Polka starter sale was starting tomorrow, we're going to push it back 1 week and
Yeah.
just let people calm down and,
Mhm.
and get their senses. And so we are going to push that and our sale back just 1 week, give us a little headspace here, and then come back strong. It'll actually, our even with the market going crazy, our lists and our spots, our pre-mint, it's been growing like crazy every day. We've been growing almost 1,000 or more a day on Twitter. So we've seen just incredible growth, and we've been just bringing on all kinds of great new partners. So it's been, in that sense, other than this
It gives
thing
more
about the
chance
market I keep hearing about,
Yeah.
but otherwise, yeah, everything's great.
It gives more of a
Yep.
chance for people also to see like what you
Yeah.
guys are building,
Yeah,
like,
no,
I
sure.
I know when I finish this AMA, like I'm going to be looking into a lot more from the PathDAO side. Like we definitely want to help spread the word, because what you guys are doing just really on all levels. You can tell it's a real industry leading.
Yes, and I don't mean to interrupt you, but I just want to make sure I say this, that we're so psyched to be partnered with PathDAO,
Awesome.
and how you guys were, we feel partnering with guilds like you guys, DAOs, sorry, I don't know the word. They're all intermerging these days, but like
Mhm.
the key is real players, right?
Yeah.
And like with your guys, and having NFTs and being able to bring real players into the game from day one is so important to us. And those players are going to help us balance the game, and make sure it's fun, and be the ones to first have opportunities to earn with our tournaments and more.
Yeah, that's what I was going to
Absolutely.
say. That our community is definitely going to be looking forward to the tournaments.
And we are accustomed to doing things a little different that always tend to favor the community or the common man. I mean, some people might disagree with our decision to delay, but I think right now things are just so hectic that people just need to take a breath. Stand back, take a breather, let the market exactly kind of like a
We
woosah
can all do it
moment.
together, you guys. Come on.
Woosah.
Right. So, so we want to really, in the transparency that we demonstrate, we want to make sure that we take care of the people first, because again, that's a part of relationship building and building a long-term base. Is that we want to make sure that you're taken care of first, and because we know we got the goods, we just want to make sure that we take care of our community.
One question we had asked, which I'm also thinking about it too, because of what you guys have, is like, how long have you been like working on everything, like from the creative side?
Oh, I mean, we really started with our core team, that we still had after Sam and Max. Probably last September, maybe. That was with a small team, a lot of prototyping,
But
fleshing things out.
hats off to you guys, right? Because some people will do a prototype and then they'll drop a token, and then 2 years later they're still waiting to do a land launch.
Right.
No, and that's also why we wanted to have land gameplay.
Yeah.
Like you see so many of these games, like, oh yeah, land will be coming in a couple years, and people buy the land so in advance. And when you get our land, you'll be able to play with it within a matter of month or two. So
Do you
That's
think?
cool. That's refreshing.
My personal questions are, from the start, are you going to have the day and night modes?
yes,
Oh
we
man.
have that in there now. There's a lot of artwork to be done with it. Eric's going,
Yeah.
we are? No,
Double
no,
the work.
yes, we
Yeah,
are.
double the work for Eric and his team.
But yeah, no, that is the plan, definitely.
Maybe we should have a dusk
Sorry, Eric.
as well,
Oh
and
yeah,
a dawn,
well,
early morning, and late
Oh
evening.
yeah,
Yeah.
everything.
it actually is timed to
His eye is
your
twitching.
PC, not to geek out, and it does change gradually. The
Yeah.
light. There
Okay.
will be a
It does
point
work.
where the night shifts and the plants become
Yeah.
bioluminescent, but there is a subtle shift.
It's
That's
kind of like
awesome.
that, Floppy. What's that hotel in Las Vegas? Is the Venetian? where the sky.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
Shows-
yeah.
yeah,
When you're
yeah,
inside,
yeah.
yeah,
Fake
Yeah,
sky.
Cool.
yeah, you're
Yeah.
inside at 2 a.m. like going from table to table, and they see the sky, and you're like, okay, it's still light out.
What time is it?
Yeah, they know what they're doing with that fake sky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, any more questions, or can we move on to the final?
Yeah, Floppy always likes to ask this at the end, but they have
Yeah, we got
shared
about
so much with
we're
us.
coming up on an hour, but we always love to ask on the way out here. Any one piece of alpha that you can share with us that may not be widely known to get everybody here excited.
There's
Right.
still time to enter our competition to get on the mint list.
Ooh.
With Mike,
How do we do that? Yeah.
right? Actually, why don't I drop in the link and maybe we can share that real quick. But
You find
again,
the link
with us,
on the Discord?
yes, actually, you know
Yeah.
what? Yes, and I'm sorry because I didn't prepare a slide. But again, with the delay, pushback of a week, that's going to give you a week opportunity to go to Polka Starter and get yourself entered there, as well as on our Discord. So I think that's pretty alpha. Really, no one knows except for this group right now here. So
Okay.
you guys
Well,
can
and
run and get
Kendrea
to it.
and everyone listening, it's not just one NFT, it's 5.
That's correct.
Yeah.
So there's
Yeah.
a value proposition. I think that
As long
should
as you
stay in
hold
the
it.
forefront. As long as you hold that Mojo, you will be airdropped those 4 additional champions. So you'll have 5 for the price of 1. That means that day 1, when the game comes out, you'll be playing. There's no need to have any additional assets. And so I just find that that's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
Proposition that we're not going to hit you for the afterwards for anything in order to play. You're right out the gates.
And then it's also not additional gas fees, correct?
Oh my gosh, that is correct. As far as us being on Polygon, that was another thing for our community is that we all know, I mean, we talked about it earlier. I love ETH, but mainnet could be very, very expensive in gas for the average person, which is the majority of us. So Polygon was very strategic, and so that it gives the opportunity for everyone to be able to be balanced, to be able to play. So when you're looking at this, as far as the combo, I mean, it's just the value add and just the synergies between the decision of the platform, how we're marketing this, the value that we're giving to the community gives everyone a really balanced and equal opportunity to have fun and to make some coin along with it.
That's great.
Floppy watering at the mouth. No, low gas fees.
Yeah, I'm gonna get on Discord and sign up for a whitelist.
All right,
now.
here's a quick alpha thing. Eric's gonna yell at me.
Oh dear.
This is a
Eric, we're doing another time.
Eric,
this is
Another
a quick tease from our cinematic.
Eric,
We've not said this is not done.
Work in
It has some
progress.
bugs and artifacts, but just to give you a little tease, showing you the quality of the planet, and just a little tease of something going on there, and that's all we're going to show you.
Oh, that's awesome. The world-changing event right there, it seems.
Indeed.
That's so cool.
Okay, Mike, be good. We're getting ready to end.
Yeah, you guys, this was a really, really, really fun AMA to have on today. We'll definitely push this out to our communities and our channels because you guys really, really shared a lot. One thing I want to ask, so I will before I leave, and Kendra, I'm happy you talked about Polygon. Because again, that's just something on everyone's mind, like especially on a day like today when you look at your wallet and it's like, oh man, like it's down. Someone was saying there's 4,444 slots. You want to talk a little bit about that and just explain that to our gamers?
Yeah, and we're going to be publishing an article soon. We want to be totally transparent about the breakdown, but yeah, basically we're doing the Polka Starter sale. There's a few touch points, and there might be a couple other very smaller INOs as they're called now, but Polka Starter has 2,000. Our sale has 4,444. And then we've done private sales with guilds and DAOs and whatnot. So we'll sort of publish the full breakdown, and then there'll be a little surplus that we're still kind of figuring out what we're going to do with. I don't think we will do a public sale. We want to keep them rare, but we'll figure out other ways. We're also getting contacted by some groups who'd like to, gamers and other guilds and whatnot. So we'll publish the full breakdown, but that's the bulk of it by far is PokeStarter and ours.
Well, you guys saw it here today. I mean, the artwork is absolutely incredible. You know, what they're building in terms of like, you know, again, we're not talking about a game. We're talking about a whole metaverse here, right? If you guys want to look at the roadmap, like there's some exciting stuff coming up. And, you know, from top to bottom, you can tell tokenomics, blockchain, like everything is really, really well thought out. So a big testament, I think, you know, to the experience behind your team.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And please join our Discord or on Twitter, because like I see all these great questions. I know we don't have time to answer them, but like ask us on our Discord, and we try to get on there at least a few times a day and answer questions, and Twitter, etc.
And for everyone watching, we're going to drop those links below on the YouTube video. So definitely go in there. And as you guys heard, I mean, there's still some whitelist spots available to win, right?
Yeah, it's a raffle, so anyone can sign up, and then we're gonna just randomly pick the winners after that, and then they'll have a certain amount of time to mint, and then we'll open it up to anyone who signs up. So
Cool.
please
Sign up your brother, sign up your sister, your mom,
Yeah.
your dad, Floppy, your 2 kids.
Yeah.
I'm certain they have
my
wallets.
wallets.
So yeah, there you go. See, that's awesome.
I'm gonna remind him in 15 years that they have a wallet that should be theirs, Floppy.
Give me my mojos.
Yeah. Hey, I love the mojo of the whole group. It was really, really good having you guys on today. Eric, I'm sorry, but it sounds like they're putting you back to work.
Oh, of course. Always.
This is great.
Loves it.
But let's check in. I really would love to have you guys on again, especially around the time when that trailer drops. That's gonna be Q3. So
the trailer's a few weeks away or so, past the 6 weeks. So yeah, do the and by then we may even have some gameplay to show off. So
sweet. Awesome.
Yeah,
well,
it'd be awesome.
We also hope hold a happy hour on Tuesdays, and so let's as soon as that trailer comes out, Floppy, this is definitely something that we should bring in. And yeah, I got my mind.
Yeah, revisit it.
Yeah, really.
Yeah, I think we're excited for it to be done. Our buddies, that we've worked with at Lucas, are doing the sound and music too. Bay Area Sound, who did all the music for us with Sam and Max. So we're psyched about that.
Very cool.
Very cool.
Hey, Eric, you're doing a good job.
my team's doing a good job. I just sit around and watch them do stuff.
Not true.
Yeah, Kendrea, this community is going to be something special, I can tell. And Mike, just hats off to you and for putting together such an amazing project with such a great team.
No, thanks for having us here. Thanks to PathDAO.
Absolutely.
We're big fans, big supporters, and look forward to the future.
Cool. Very cool.
Guys,
Yeah, it's
thank
been
you
a pleasure.
so much for this. It's been a real pleasure, and we appreciate your community and your partnership. So, toast to
Sounds
you.
good. We'll be in touch. We'll be in close contact.
Okay, guys.
All right. Thanks again.
Talk to you guys. Thanks for having
Talk
us.
soon. Thank you for having us. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
We're going to finish up for today. Everyone who's watching, just a reminder to subscribe to the PathDAO YouTube channel. In the link below, we'll drop different socials for Planet Mojo, for Path, obviously, as well. Floppy, another really good AMA.
Yeah, man, that was fun. I mean, every time we have one of these, I'm like excited to dive into another project and try to get a whitelist spot. This is good.
Yeah, I like what they're doing. They're really like it's like an industry leading project in a couple ways, right? You know, I love
the metaverse. Yeah.
Yeah, I love that environmental, like what they're doing for the environment. I love how the game is tied to the environment, and then they're actually doing something in the real world, right?
So you get your assets and you can go out into the metaverse and like show them off and like hang out with people. That's sort of what I'm thinking it's gonna be like. Yeah.
Yeah, and to get five NFTs, like right from the start. So it's like you can just go right into the game. Like, you know, some of these projects you got to buy an NFT. Then you got to buy like a weapon or a helmet or a skin or a cat or a dog or whatever, you know. And
it seemed very community inclusive. Yeah,
very cool. Okay, well, thank you everyone for listening. We're gonna have some more fun AMAs next week. We'll keep you guys all updated in the channels, and remember to hit that subscribe button. Cool, Floppy.
All right. See you next week.
Yeah, have a great day, guys.
All right. Bye.